What's up guys, it's Matthew back, and welcome back to another video. Today we have episode 21 of the Best Zombies map, which is going to be Call of the Dead versus Buried. So let's go ahead and get right into this with gameplay. So Call of the Dead is it's a pretty fun map to play. Pretty big, pretty expansive, fun to play with really any amount of players. Overall, it's pretty good. A few annoying things like George. The fog doesn't make the map look that nice, but it's overall it's a pretty decent map. Not the best, but decent. Buried, though, I feel is a lot better. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot easier. Like, a lot more people can play Buried. I don't know, just something about it. I think they did a lot better job making it friendly to a lot of different types of players. So I went with 2 to Call of the Dead, 5 to Buried. Next we have training spots. Now Call of the Dead has the spot is sort of inside the lighthouse, and it also has the spot outside of the lighthouse. So 2 pretty decent spots. Buried doesn't really have that much. It sort of has the town area like by Jug, by the original box location in Leroy Cell. It has that area outside there. But other than that, not too good in terms of training spots. So I went with 3 to Call of the Dead, 2 to Buried. Next is the difficulty level. Now, Call of the Dead is very, very, very close to that level of not too hard, not too easy. So it did a good job. I mean, George sort of made it a challenge, but you also had the Scavenger, like a really good wonder weapon to help you out. So overall, pretty good. Buried is probably like the easiest map I've ever seen, so it's not close to the middle. So I had to go with 4 to Call of the Dead, 1 to Buried. Next we have innovations. So things that Call of the Dead brought, it brought George, it brought 2 wonder weapons, it brought a perk, which, I mean, not the best perk, Deadshot Daiquiri, but it was pretty cool. It brought sort of the ship theme. I mean, it was a pretty cool map. Buried brought Leroy, it brought Vulturade, it brought the Paralyzer, it brought the Maze, the Witch House, just a whole bunch of things on Buried. I think it brought more, so I went with 4 to Call of the Dead, 6 to Buried. Next is perks. Now, Call of the Dead brought Deadshot Daiquiri, which is a perk that not everyone likes, and I understand that. But Buried brought a really good perk which everybody loves, which is Vulturade. So both maps brought a perk, so I just had to go 1-1. Next we have wonder weapons. Now both maps brought 2 wonder weapons. Call of the Dead brought the VR-11, which, I mean, isn't good. It sort of sends zombies into people and it sort of distracts them. So, not the best, not a very good wonder weapon. Call of the Dead also has the Scavenger, which is pretty good up until probably about round 60 or 70. Then it really doesn't do enough damage, and that's why a lot of people don't make it past. Like, I don't think around 100 attempt has been made on that map, or if it has, it's really, really difficult and it takes a long time. So, but Buried has the Paralyzer, which is like one of the most overpowered wonder weapons. And not to mention, it brought the Ray Gun Mark II, which is in every other Black Ops 2 map. So I had to obviously give a lot more to that, so I went with 1 to Call of the Dead, 2 to Buried. Next is bosses. Now, Call of the Dead brought George, which, I mean, everybody hates him. He follows you around, he makes your life miserable. Just overall, not a good boss. Buried brings the witches that take your perk, not your perks, sorry, they take all your points. So you got to be very, very careful if you are going through the witch's house that they don't take your money. So one interesting fact about the witches, though, that I did not know actually, if you kill a witch, you actually get a free grenade from killing the witch. So you're welcome for that little tip. So I went with 1-1 for either map. Next is colors. Now, one of Call of the Dead's biggest drawbacks was the fog, which goes in with colors. So, yeah, I don't. It just makes the map look terrible. I mean, the map is gray. It's all snowy, and it's not like Origin snowy. It just looks not good. Buried looks not the best, but it's pretty cool. It's like sort of an abandoned underground town. It has a pretty cool vibe. I thought it did a lot better, so I went with 2 to Call of the Dead and 3 to Buried. And last we have our storyline. Now, Call of the Dead had the different characters when they were making the zombie horror movie, and then the zombies all turned like into real zombies, and all of that. So a pretty Easter egg was pretty good. I didn't give you a wonder waff at the end for completing it, but Buried was the end game of the Black Ops 2 characters. You got to decide either the Maxes or the Richtofen side. Very expansive Easter egg, very very hard Easter egg, and very thorough. So I had to give it a lot more, so I went with 2 to Call of the Dead and 6 to Buried. But anyways, that concludes this video. The final score is 20 to Call of the Dead, 29 to Buried. Pretty sure. I just gotta check that math. But oh yeah. Okay, I'm sorry about that. It's 27 to Buried. I wrote that wrong. 20 to Call of the Dead, 27 to Buried. Got it. So, thank you for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, leave suggestions for videos down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.